welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to be talking about Tweedledee and Tweedledum and a whole bunch of others mixed in. Call it like a gumbo, a rat gumbo. We're going to have a rat gumbo today. Shout out to everyone that takes the time to watch this show. I really appreciate you guys. Tommy Stiggs, how are you, man? Got a lot of good people in the chat. Yas, how are you? Latin Butterfly. Topi. Is it Topi? Stiggs. Dave, what's going on? Mike Sola. James Simpson, how are you? Shout out to the UK. Happy New Year's to all of you out there. Really appreciate you. Tommy Stiggs. Go check out Tommy Stiggs Social Club. It's got a great show. Hey, I was watching your video earlier. You were talking about how to do the internet thing, but you don't show how to get there, Tommy. You don't show how you got to that screen. Like, I got to know the whole process, Tommy. You can't just start off at the screen and not show us how to get there. Because I want to check mine too. Full green light, how are you? We got a funny one coming up. So we got a little bit of Scammy. We got a little bit of Mr. Yes, I Did. And then we got Chief Suck'em Two Cocks. You guys know who that is already. And we're going to talk a little bit about Dominic's little relapse, if you want to call it that. I don't know. Was he a functioning addict? Who knows? He's not blaming any of it on any of the alcohol he consumed. So his bleeding ulcer, his his fucked up stomach with the whatever the hell's wrong with him, his make-believe ailments. Maybe he should have had Gypsy Rose's mother as a mother. I want to talk a little bit about that too. So Gypsy Rose, the girl that was tortured by her mother, right? That was pretty terrible what she did to her daughter. Don't get me wrong. That was terrible. Like, no one should ever go through that type of stuff. But people are praising this young woman like she's a hero. And for some reason, it just irks me the wrong way. The way that they're putting this young woman on a pedestal, like she's this noble person for killing her mother. I don't see it that way. I think the mother should have been in prison for what she did to her daughter. She had no right to really kill her mother. I mean, she did put her through a bunch of torturous stuff, but what about the young man that killed the mother? Should he be out? Should he be labeled as a hero like she's being labeled? It's insane because like people's rationalization of society, 100%. I believe that. It's crazy. It is crazy how they're praising this young woman. It's like she's gonna meet Taylor Swift now, and it's just bullshit. I don't think the young people out there should be praising her or anybody that was in that type of position. Do you think she's proud of what she did? No, she's not. She regrets killing her mother. She could have just left. She could have went to the police. She could have did something else besides having her killed by her boyfriend. She manipulated her boyfriend to kill her mother. Now the boyfriend's in prison for the rest of her life. She's off smiling, waving. It's disgusting. It's just like these people. Those people would give her a room in their home. Yeah, take her in. If you love her so much, she's such a good person, take her into your home. Bring her around your kids. See how that works out for you. Because obviously she's manipulative, and she gets it from her mama. She is her daughter's. She is her mother's daughter, right? So just don't forget about that. But anyway, let's get in to the videos today. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Got a lot of great content on the way. Got some interviews. I just finished up an interview, and it's pretty interesting. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up my Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. You can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, Zelle. And I want to thank everybody who donated. It's been really, really appreciated for all you out there who has donated. It doesn't go unnoticed. Kelly, how are you? Bobo Camp. Damn it. Dropping the phone. All right, let's get into the first video. We're gonna be finishing up this one.
Cleaning up for me, getting rid of guns, Rocky, Finelli. The next morning, they tried to hit me. I had an underground fence company. I had bells that would go off on my property.
All right, listen to this, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen. Last show of Joey. Not so good, I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got nothing. Honestly, haven't even been paying attention. I've been so busy with my own stuff.
Ex-wife called me, told me that there's several guys waiting for me. I believe it was 5 guys waiting for me.
Okay, so listen to this. Listen to this bullshit story I'm about to tear right apart with this guy right now. So, he says that he had an underground fence on his property, right? So, he said he gets an alert when someone trips the fence on his property. So, he said his wife calls him. There's 3 guys on your property. Now, how do you know that? How does your wife know that there's 3 guys on your property coming to kill you, Johnny boy? How? How do they know that? How did she know that there's 3 guys, assassins, to come and kill you on your property? She didn't know. She didn't know there was any 3 guys because there wasn't. You might have got into an altercation with some people, but there wasn't 3 guys there to kill you. I can probably guarantee you that one. Let's get back to the video, and you'll see some inconsistencies on his story. Let's get into it.
I believe I definitely killed 2, maybe a third. Started out with them on the property, and
All right, where the bodies at, Johnny boy? Who are they, and where the bodies at? Explain. Not a word from Johnny.
He was involved also. He did an interview about it, talking about you know, that shooting, and these guys were all there, and afterwards cleaning up the blood, the mess. And
all right, where was the blood, Johnny boy? Outside? Where was the blood and the mess that they had to clean up? I'd like to know. I really would like to know more about this story, John. So maybe you could help me out.
On there.
You stabbed a guy in the neck and the stomach in Fort Lauderdale in front of Nikki Butch.
Yeah, these guys were. I was with a girl named Dawn. I worked at a club called Shooters in Florida, and the guy was one of these weightlifter steroid guys, and he was with 2 or 3 guys.
Okay. So what's that got to do with anything? He was a weightlifter, steroid guy. So what? Does that mean that means what? Here, let's bring it back a little bit. I want to hear more about that Scarface scene right out of Scarface, where the assassins came on his property and there was a tripwire, and he got his machine gun and started killing them all.
By Mondello's on between 85th Street and Forest Park. I happened to be driving by, and he's a good friend of mine, still a good friend of mine. Tough guy, used to fight all the time. And he was fighting the guys. They pulled a bat. They were a baseball bat. I pulled over, seen him, and I shot both guys.
All right, John. Did you kill them both? And what happened to the bodies? And what happened to your guy that was getting baseball batted? You just drove away and everything was good? Is that how it went? I really would like to know. Please, John, Explain.
I guess you shot 2 guys for showing your property?
All right, so Vlad just asked him, you shot 2 guys? But no, Johnny's going to correct him. He murdered 2 guys, shot a third guy. Let's listen.
On my property, somebody questioned that shooting. I forget who, but it doesn't matter. Dino Finelli was there, Carmen Roan. I give you, these are legitimate guys that were part of cleaning up for me, getting rid of guns. Rocky Finelli. The next morning, they tried to hit me. I had an underground fence company. I had bells that would go off on my property. My ex-wife called me, told me that there's several guys waiting for me. I believe there was 5 guys waiting for me. I believe I definitely killed 2, maybe a third. Shot it out with them on the property, and I had this guy Danny. He was involved also. He did an interview about it, talking about you know, that shooting, and these guys were all there, and afterwards cleaning up the blood, the mess, and what went on there.
You stabbed a guy in the neck and the stomach in Fort Lauderdale in front of Nikki Butch?
Yeah, these guys were. I was with a girl named Dawn. I worked at a club called Shooters in Florida, and the guy was one of these weightlifter, steroid guys, and he was with 2 or 3 guys. And I bought a dozen roses for a girl, and she was going to Champagne, the girl Dawn. And Dawn knows me, so she knew what I was going to do. And I went back to the back.
Lies. All he does is lie. It's pretty great. Mega Cole is bashing you on her channel. Who the fuck is that? I don't care. Good for them. Whoever talks about me, listen. Whoever talks about me, I appreciate you, because they're telling a bunch of bullshit, and that's cool. I don't respond to bullshit. Got no time for it. I am, you know, people that are successful, they don't worry about the people running their mouth unless it was true, and then I would care. I don't give a fuck. Let them talk.
He just got out of jail for a brass knuckle on a kid from behind, a small guy too. This guy was huge. He was a 325-pound guy. Anyway, I went back to him, and I told him, next time he ever touches me, I says, I'm going to kill him. I says,
how'd he touch you, Johnny boy? How'd he touch you?
You better remember who you're talking to.
You better remember who you're talking to. His name's John Gotti. It's not Eli. It's John Gotti now. He's the real John Gotti. John Gotti wasn't even the leader of the Gambinos. It was really John Eli. He was the guy running shit from behind the scenes. Don't get it fucked up. Pretty wild, man. These people can flip a story quicker than they could quicker than anything out there. It's pretty crazy. Name drop, Johnny. Name drop. Let's hear it.
And he mushed my face.
Ooh, he mushed your face. Salute to little Mario. What's good, man? David, how are you? James Simpson, what's good? We got a lot of people in the house already. It's building up. I appreciate all my loyal subscribers. You guys have been great. I'm going to be doing a giveaway soon. We did one about a month ago, and that went pretty well. Shout out to the winner of that giveaway. And I don't know if they received their prize yet, but I sent it. So if you're watching, let me know you got your prize, and we'll get another giveaway going. We have a show coming up tonight. David, thank you for that. Mickey Griggs, how are you? We got another show coming up tonight with Mr. Ori Spado at 9 o'clock. You guys don't want to miss this one. Sonny Francis, The Truth Exposed. It's going to be good. And make sure you guys go over and subscribe to Ori. He's almost at 1,000. How do you feel about the glorification of Michael DeLeonardo and those who hate rats? I think Michael DeLeonardo is one of the biggest scumbags out there. I think he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And listen, I am not no rat crusader. I'm not a mobster. I'm not trying to explain how tough I am or none of that. I don't care about none of that. I am not in the mafia. I never was, never claimed to be a gangster or a tough guy like that. And for you people out there that claim that I claim that, the fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm just here to expose the truth on who these people are. I don't care if they cooperated. I really don't. I don't give a shit. But you know what I do care about is if these people are coming on the internet portraying something and they're clearly not what they're portraying. I'm about my shit. I help the community, but I'm not looking for people to go help the community. I don't care if you help the community or not. I know what I do. But when these people are coming on here lying about shit and claiming to be something that they're clearly not, then I'm going to expose it. And if you got a problem with that, make sure you write it on a piece of paper, like I said before, fold it in half again, and shove it right up your ass. And I'll send Chief Suckums around to come get them for me, all right? That's how we're going to handle that. If you don't like this podcast, start your fucking own. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to continue to do my thing. And if you don't like it, so what? Happy New Year.
I said, all right. I came back. I went to the bar. I asked them for a knife. They gave me a little lemon cutter. I said, no, the butcher knife. They said, well, it's in the kitchen.
All right, so listen to this story, all right? Mr. Aleto here, he's in a club. There's a bouncer he has a problem with. Gets into an altercation with the bouncer. Now, the bouncer's in the club. It's like a strip club or whatever. It's a club. I used to work in a club. You're not making it to the kitchen to go get a knife. You're not gonna make it there. Like, there's no possible way. Maybe this club's different. Maybe the kitchen's in the front, okay? Let's just say, okay, he makes it to the kitchen. Is he going to be talking to the bartender and telling him, not that knife, I want that knife? No. And are they going to hand him that knife? No, probably not. It's a pretty elaborate story. I give you this. You're a good storyteller. You are.
Went into the kitchen, got the butcher knife, put it behind my back. I walked back. I said, did I warn you? And
Did I warn you? And then he pulled out the knife and went to work. Big Mike, how you doing?
he looked at me. He didn't know what I was going to do. I stabbed him. I stabbed his friend. And
Stab him and his friend, huh? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Cameron. David, really appreciate the donation. You guys are great. If anyone else wants to donate, you can hit up the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, all that good stuff. And if we get funding for some things, then I'll be able to do a lot more with this podcast. I'll be able to show you guys some incredible content. But some of it I can't do without funding. So if you guys want to help me, help you, then be my guest. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
the police were at the front door.
Police were at the front door and they just let him go. They stepped aside and said, let Johnny walk. He's with Gotti. Okay.
They worked the nightclub.
Oh, wait. My bad. They worked at the nightclub. The police worked at the nightclub and they didn't stop him from going to grab a knife from the kitchen and stab somebody. They let him do it, and then they let him walk out.
They pinched me right there, stripped me naked.
Oh, they pinched him right there. Let's hear what happened.
Get into just underwear. Took all my clothes.
Stripped him naked right there, right in the club.
Charged me, I believe at the time, was attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon.
And you didn't go to prison? Oh, you don't remember? Come on, Johnny. If you get charged with attempted murder with a deadly weapon, you're going to remember that, Johnny. Come on, don't fucking play.
And later on, these guys dropped charges. Their lawyer knew my lawyer, Richie Raybach. My lawyer, Richie Raybach, at the time was Gotti Sr.'s lawyer.
Oh, so what? Who gives a shit? So you're telling me that the state didn't pick up the charges? Carl, what's going on? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. You're telling me the state didn't pick up the charges? Oh, this was back in the day when people were almost getting killed and they were able to drop the charges. Yeah, I buy this shit.
Gotti Sr. gave me him to defend me when they found out who I was and who I knew. The one guy backed out of the trial. The other guy gave information saying that I was protecting myself from his friend.
Sure. I believe that shit. 100%. How many people believe this bullshit? Pretty funny. Or he had Jamaican Jack living with him for 1 year. Or he knew Jay was an informant. I don't know. I'll ask him tonight. Shout out to Ori. Go check out his channel. I'll drop a link in the description of this video. You guys want to check it out. Let's hear the bullshit. Come on with it.
You baseball batted 3 bikers and stabbed one of them?
The place was called Old Brother Inn, 78th Street, Jamaica Avenue. My friend Joey Mathis was an accountant, regular guy. He was in the bar with Kenny Nicole, and they called me up at about 3 in the morning. I was sleeping. In my book that I'm going to do with Susan Pike, I'm going to come out with the next book. This is Darkest Hour 1.
So this is the famous interview, Mr. Yes, I Did. This is where it first originated from. Shout out to Patrick Beck David.
I'm coming out with Darkest Hour 2 and 3. And in Darkest Hour 2, that's coming out in February, I'm going to put a scorecard like we do in sports. When somebody gets just what you said, how many hits or how many tackles. I'm going to go through how many of these guys never touched a gun in their life.
Who gives a fuck how many of the guys never touched a gun in their life? What's it got to do with anything? Makes no sense. But okay.
3 guys are here and we can't leave the bar. They said they're going to kill us. I walked up and I told the guys, let them come out of the bar. He told me, mind your business. One guy went into a coma. I'm not sure. I think he died. I'm not sure.
He went into a coma. I think he died. I'm not sure. Oh, so you're just killing people and they just let it go because it's you, right? Yes. Yes, I did. Come on. You can't make this shit up, folks.
The story about him. The other 2 guys I batted. Kenny Nicole, I batted by accident. He came running up behind me. And a week later, they came looking for me to crew bikers. I went into a bar with Michael Finley. He was
Hold on. We got to slow this down. He went into the bar after they got into an altercation. He went into their bar. Wait till you hear what happened to the bikers. He went into a motorcycle club's bar, handled business by himself. Fucking Johnny Boy here. He's one tough motherfucker, huh?
Stabbed the head guy of that motorcycle gang in the bar there.
And none of his guys did anything. None of his guys did anything to retaliate. They watched their president get stabbed. And John A. like just walked right out. Breeze, nothing.
I mean, I guess the Gotti family said that you shot around 60 people.
I don't believe it. Sandra, how are you?
During a trial, they exaggerate, and they want to make it, I'm an animal. 1 second, I'm an animal. The second, I'm a serial killer. The next second, I didn't do much shooting.
Okay, so 60, right? That's the number we're going with right now. Let's tally it up. 60, right? All right. The Gotti family said he shot around 60, which I don't fucking believe that either, but okay. All right, he shot 60. Let's remember that, right? All right, let's get back to business.
As you can see, we can keep going with all the shooting I did, and I remember names. That's
okay. How come you're not in prison for any of these? Oh, wait, because you cooperated, right? Well, how come none of these are in your cooperation agreement? You're able to just kill people and get away with it? Is that how it works now?
the problem. When guys talk and lie, I remember names, locations, witnesses. Kenny Nicole's witness was still alive at that.
That's the problem, Johnny boy. People who do shit like this don't remember every detail, because things get scattered when you're involved with things like this. That's why there's a problem, John. People that come and they have exact time, dates, everything, tell you're fucking lying. It's painfully obvious. Now, Johnny, I got a proposition for you. Fuck the boxing and all that shit, right? I got a proposition for you, Johnny. Come and take a lie detector test. I'll pay for it. You take the lie detector test, and we'll clear up all of this, okay? No problem. We'll meet in New York City. You can do it in Manhattan. And you take a lie detector test, and if you pass it, there'll be a little prize at the end of the rainbow for you. And it'll get a lot of respect from a lot of people out there if you pass it. The proposition's out there for you, Johnny. Let me know.
Baseball bat thing, and there's 3 people. I mean, I baseball batted 3 people also in Princeton on Route 1 at a diner, the Princeton Diner. The girl that was there, Lisa Matrisiak, that's her name, she's around. I mean, these people are around and alive. They're there when they're watching what I do. I'm not with a group of guys. I'm by myself.
By himself. I want you to put your money where your mouth is, Johnny. So I'll pay for the lie detector test. And I want you to take the lie detector test and prove that you're not fucking lying on all this shit. Prove to me you're not lying on 10 of the instances where you killed these people. 10. That's all I ask. 10 of them. Pass the lie detector test on 10 of these murders you committed, right? One of them I want you to pass on. And we'll count this as 2 or 3. If you pass the one where they came to your house to assassinate you. If you pass the test on that, then they'll believe you. People will believe you. I really would like you to pass it. Bell, what's good, man? How you doing? Philly Phil in the house. Shout out to Phil. Carol, how are you? William, what's good? Shout out to Brooklyn. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. We got a lot of content on the way. Stay tuned. Rah, what's good with you? Let's get back to business.
So, I obviously I can handle myself pretty good because I'm not calling guys. I'm not bringing guns on some of these things. And I'm walking in the enemy's bars by myself and doing what I have to do. So, the reason why I think it's important to say these things, because I need people that are in my position now in prison, that maybe they'll come home, they can change their life also. And these things are things that we can't retract. We did them. We believed in the life we lived at that time, but it's a new life for me.
I believe you believe your own lies, Johnny boy. I believe you really believe this shit. Sometimes people really believe their own lies, and it's a sickness. And I think he has it.
Never did a killing, Pete Gotti say. Never touched a gun. He didn't kill anybody.
Does that make Pete Gotti not a gangster? I believe Peter Gotti is a straight up gangster. Because guess what? He didn't cooperate like you did. Not at all. What do you call that? You cooperate. You weren't even a part of the family, John. You didn't have a button. You weren't gonna have a button. Oh, bullshit.
It's easy to ask this kid to do the killing from. It was easy to ask me to do the killing and the shooting, and then when it's finished and all the trouble starts, say he was nobody. Because they're going to do it to the next kid. That's why I'm so...
Who was saying you were nobody?
Who's saying you're a nobody? Him. He feels like a nobody. That's why he's saying that, because he is a nobody. Staxx, this guy is so full of it. His nose is bigger and bigger every time. Pinocchio, 100%.
Whoever says it, I'm saying it doesn't matter who's saying it. What I'm trying to teach these kids is...
Whoever said it, doesn't matter who said it. That doesn't matter. Come on, man. Be specific. Who's saying it? Who's saying you're fucking nobody?
Body, say. Never touched a gun. He didn't kill anybody. It's easy to ask this kid to do the killing from. It was easy to ask me to do the killing and the shooting, and then
Yeah, because you're a weak individual. You're a weak individual. If someone else is telling you do this, do that, then you're a weak individual. And you have no balls to stand up for yourself. You're Mr. Gangster, right? You could have told him, fuck you. You could have batted him. How come you didn't go kill the people that are making you do all this shit? Instead, no. You just went right along with it and kept doing it, right? Why? Because you were scared, Johnny. You were scared.
finished and all the trouble starts, say he was nobody. Because they're going to do it to the next kid. That's why I'm so...
Who was saying you were nobody?
Whoever says it. I'm saying...
Whoever says it. Whoever. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who's saying it. What I'm
Okay.
trying to teach these kids is don't follow this life. I'm here to tell you, I lived this life. I was
Right.
a guy that was in this life making a ton of money.
No, you know what you're telling these kids, Johnny? You're telling these kids that you're a badass motherfucker. And you want them to be intimidated by you. You want them to think you're a big bad gangster. But you're not. You're a cooperator. You're a fucking cooperating witness. Remember, I don't have this rat fucking vendetta. I'm not in the mafia. I never was. I don't claim to be. He means Junior. 100%. He's got a real fucking, they got a real love-hate relationship. Definitely do.
Dead end way to live. So it's very important to be very strong about the way I'm talking and what I've done. And it's very important to let these kids know, listen, do not follow this. This is a one-way street to nowhere. And
It's very tough to live that life today, though.
Yeah, it is tough, John. And you still want to be known as this fucking guy that baseball batted all these guys and all this bullshit. Hey, what about the video of you saying you took your son to go shoot somebody? What about that? And you said, oh, don't worry, son, it's just fireworks. And you just killed someone, John? That the type of shit you want kids to look up to? Because, I mean, you're the one that said it in the video, not me. These are your words. This is not me putting words in your mouth, John. This is you. So, explain. Floor's all yours.
You know, to have the mob life today, it's very tough to live the life today.
Well,
It's not as it
really.
was in the 80s.
no, it's not as in the 80s because they're not killing. And they're not shooting and they're not baseball batting guys because, well, this is why I was talking about
hacking.
structure and fear.
Right.
Because you're not in it, right? Is that why they're not doing it, John? Because you're not there anymore to do it? Come on, man. You're a follower. Now you're trying to be a leader. It doesn't work like that. You can't switch roles, my friend. You can't go from being the sheep herder to being the wolf. You're a sheep. You're a sheep, bro.
But you have guys all over the street selling powder and pills, and they think they're gangsters.
No, you think you're a gangster. You were a drug dealer too, just like Scammy. Rest in peace, Alan Kaiser. Bobby, how are you? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Maureen, how are you? You guys are all great. You guys have been great this past year. I've been all over the country. I've had an amazing time at doing this podcast. Not just this section of the podcast, because there's a lot of different layers of the onion to peel back on my podcast. Go check out a lot of the interviews I've done. There's a lot more to come. But let's get back to this video because it's quite interesting.
Put on a suit and tie, they put on a cigar,
Right.
they put a cigar in their mouth, and they think they're gangsters. And they're teaching these kids they can still do this and you can have a future. But there is no future in this life. There is
What life? You weren't in the life, John. You weren't a made man. You weren't in the Gambino family. That wasn't, you slept over at John Jr.'s house, and that's your claim to fame, man. Tell it for what it is. Tell it for what it is, Johnny.
no future in selling drugs. There's no future in selling, killing or hurting. This is why I said it's very easy to kill and hurt. But the hard part is not to.
John, what's your
No, the hard part is not to. Maybe for you, because you're such a Rambo gangster, but people don't go around killing people. People in the mob don't kill. You weren't, remember again, you weren't in the mob, so you're an anomaly, John. Now all of a sudden you want to be Albanian, but they don't want you either. They disowned you, man. That's why the guys in the bar beat you up, because you were trying to like buddy up with a bunch of Albanians that don't fuck with cooperators, and you got what you wished for.
not? What caused the fall? I've read many different things, and I've read both sides of the story, you know, and I called around just to kind of see what they're going to tell me. People that don't believe a single word that comes out of your mouth.
Ooh, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. What do you guys think the falling out was over with John Gotti Jr. and John A. Light? Does anybody know what the reason was for the fallout of these two guys?
That say this guy's legit, and I've called names that you know, some of the names you've mentioned, just to kind of give that, but they've asked me to not disclose the names for obvious reasons. It's like if I were to call you and say, hey, what do you think about this? This is who I'm sitting with. Here's what's the case with this guy. What caused the falling out with you, John, and Senior? What caused the falling out while you're coming up?
Well,
With him and Senior, he didn't work for Senior. He was friends with John Jr. I know what caused the fallout. Does anyone else know what caused the fallout between John Gotti Jr. and Aletto here? Does anyone know? I'll wait. Eli is the TikTok on Scammy's ass while riding down the donkey. Junior slapped him and chased him for using the Gotti name and selling drugs. And then he ran to Florida and sent letters to Junior begging him to let's be friends again. Bang, 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 you got it. It was Victoria Gotti. He was in love with Victoria Gotti. He had a crazy crush on her. Basically, like, damn near stalking her, probably. It was a girl, man. But I believe some of this story is true, too. Junior slapped him and chased him for using the Gotti name and selling drugs. And then he ran to Florida. He wrote and sent letters to Junior begging him to let's be friends again. What? And then after that, what happened after that? Yeah, you were right, man. Benfica was right. It was over a girl. It was over the daughter. Crazy. She didn't want nothing to do with this guy. Nothing.
very simple. I mean, anybody with an education can decipher what I'm saying and check, right?
I already have. All bullshit.
Because I'm making statements with names. I'm making statements of named guys. Okay.
Listen, Midwest Mobsters, go check out Midwest Mobsters. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got some good content. Sammy took $3,000 from him. Yes, he did. Go subscribe to Midwest Mobsters. He's trying to get to 1,000. We're going to help him get there. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link so you guys can go subscribe to Midwest Mobsters. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Problem, man. Go subscribe. There's the link. Go subscribe to Midwest Mobsters. And go subscribe to Stories with Ori. Ori's almost at 900. We're going to be pushing him over the edge today. I believe he's going to pass 900 today. Matter of fact, he needs one more subscriber to have 900. So go subscribe to Ori Spado. I'm going to drop the link in the description. I'll put it in the chat. Make sure you guys go subscribe. We're going to get these guys some subscribers. I remember when I first started, if people didn't help me out, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So it's only right that I help other people. Why you need 1,000 to get monetized, to get paid?
Here's the falling out. Frankie DeChico was killed. Did you see anybody get killed after Frankie got blown up? No. Eddie Lino was killed by the Lucchese family, by the road cops at Bolito. See anybody retaliate that? No. Bob.
You know why you didn't see anybody retaliate, John? Because you weren't in the family. You weren't privy to the shit. You only seen shit from the outside looking in. You weren't there, John. You weren't in the meetings. You were outside standing around with the son. You were his son's friend. That's it. You had sleepovers. You had a little drug business or bookmaking operation with Junior. That's it. Why don't you stick to the truth, man? Fucking real weird. All of a sudden now you're the Gotti of the fucking bunch, huh? Everyone was following you. You were running the family. Gotti was just a fucking face, right?
Yeller was killed in front of his house. See anybody retaliate that? No. Joey Scopo, that was put in position to be an acting boss of the Colombo family by Gotti when he was murdered in front of his house. Any retaliation? No.
You weren't there. You weren't even you weren't in the Gambino family. He wasn't a soldier. He was not. He was not in the family at all. He's not Italian. He couldn't be in the family. He didn't even hold the umbrella. He held the umbrella for the umbrella guy. When it wasn't raining, he held the umbrella guy's umbrella.
My good friend, Greg Ryder, was chopped up and left somewhere.
How come you didn't retaliate, Mr. Gangster? How come you didn't go retaliate because of that? Kind of odd, huh? Thought you were a big bad gangster. Go handle shit for your friends.
Body, while his father did life, didn't give up. Gotti Sr. could have never spent one day, Mark Ryder, in prison, and nobody did anything about it. And in my belief, they ordered it. They okayed it. They didn't order the murder of Greg Ryder, but they okayed it. And I could go on with that list.
Well, you should have retaliated, Mr. Gangster Rambo.
Anthony Mancuso was killed over a dispute in I'm trying to think of Bedrocks.
Hey, Matty Marinero, how are you? Go check out Matty Marinero, too. He's got a great show. Jennifer, how are you?
With the owner. Did anybody kill the guy?
When were you made? I was never made. I'm not a gangster. Not at all.
They killed him, regardless if the guy was wrong or right. Our laws, you can't put your hand on a made guy. He killed him. God, he didn't do anything about it. Nobody did anything about it. Why not? So we believe in nothing.
You didn't do nothing about it either, John. Come on, I thought you were in the family. You were the hit guy. How come you didn't do nothing about it? You needed permission, right, from someone else to do it? You didn't need shit. You could have did it on your own.
In money. And these kids think that there's loyalty. I just named every boss that's ratting. I just named Sammy Gravano. Let's put somebody in his shoes.
All right, let's hear it. He's going to talk good about Sammy now. Let's hear it.
He was quiet. He never got caught on tapes. He didn't brag. He didn't talk about murders that we committed in the past, that it's our law. If you do bring it up, you're killed for it. He didn't go against his boss. He was a big money maker. He was a family man. He didn't run around like a lot of us did with women. He was a perfect gangster. That guy was a perfect gangster. Wow. And he was quiet. Now he's known to be.
A beef is happening right now in the mafia social world, I would say, between you and Sammy Gravano. But before that,
weak. So when he says something that's not, that I don't like.
Listen, the thing is with these guys, right? When you disagree with them, I don't care what it is. If you disagree and you don't agree with what they got going on, this is the response you'll get. Because you just heard him saying Sammy was a perfect gangster, right? Let's hear it again.
The journalists around the world spent one day, Mark Ryder, in prison. And did anybody kill the guy that killed him? Regardless if the guy was wrong or right. Our laws, you can't put your hand on a made guy.
You weren't a made guy.
He killed him. God, he didn't do anything about it. Nobody did anything about it. Why not? So we believe in nothing. We believe in money. And these kids think that there's loyalty. I just named every boss that's ratting. I just named Sammy Gravano.
Listen close.
Let's put somebody in his shoes. He was quiet. He never got caught on tapes. He didn't brag. He didn't talk about murders that we committed in the past.
They never committed murders together. They did not even know each other on the street. Junior was friends with this guy. He wasn't involved with the Gambino family. Watch, he was a perfect gangster.
Our law, if you do bring it up, you're killed for it. He didn't go against his boss. He was a big money maker. He was a family man. He didn't run around like a lot of us did with women. He was a perfect gangster. That guy was a perfect gangster.
We are back. Now, John, what do you think made Sammy change opinion about you?
Because I'm not like most guys. I'm not weak. So when he says something that's not, that I don't like or I don't agree with, I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say it again. Now, he's a cunt. He's a fucking coward. He's another big mouth that didn't do much. Now, people are going to say, well, he was an underboss, you nobody. So I'm going to tell you, you can ask people or research, what did this man do to get to be to the level of being a made man? So people think because they're a made man that they did something spectacular to get there. He was quiet. Now he's known to be a rat, right? That's what the journalists around the world projected him as. That's what the gangsters did. But who's really the rat? This guy did everything from Gotti gave him up every which way. And he didn't get a chance to kill Gotti. Maybe if he got a chance to, he would have never spoke. Do any kind of robberies because he went through that on his shows. He did some bullshit like almost kid stuff, the robberies. He shot.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I'm not a gangster and I don't want to be a gangster. You guys can have all that gangster shit, all right? All that tough guy shit, it's for the birds.
Shot a gun once prior to him becoming a made guy. And he shot one person out of 19 out of his own mouth. So he shot maybe 2 people. And handcuffs are going to do 10 life sentences because of Gotti's big mouth, because he betrayed Sammy Gravano. Sammy didn't betray anyone. Off that his whole life, and he tells you about how tough he is. He set up murders. If you're that tough, after you cooperated, you wouldn't have hid in Arizona.
If Sammy had the chance to kill Gotti, he would have?
Of course.
He would have.
100%.
Do you think Sammy was a threat to Gotti because the street saw Sammy more as the power guy than Gotti because Sammy was getting all the context and the relay, like he could eventually be a boss, or not at all?
No, because Sammy didn't have an ego. He had no aspirations to take over. He didn't care to join Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn, but yet he's hiding in another state under, like I say, like Bin Laden in the mountains. So to me, he's a fucking coward with another big mouth. You know, he's an older guy now. He ain't no tough guy. He can bullshit everybody else. These guys live over reputations of doing one or two things, and then they can't have. No, Sammy had no.
Was that known?
Yeah, it was known because Sammy didn't have the ego. Sammy stood back. Sammy only cared about making money, staying with his family.
How much time did you spend with Sammy?
Over the years, he was always around. Like I.
Yeah, look at him tripping over his fucking words because he didn't have contact with Sammy. He even said in an interview he tried to talk to Sammy once, and John Gotti Sr. scolded him for it. Don't fucking talk to my people.
I was around. You're watching.
But were you buddies? Were you friends?
No, I wasn't buddies with him at all. I was loyal to the Gottis. So for me to say this, I was a Gotti loyalist. I wasn't a Sammy Gravano loyalist. But, if you're going to speak about the mob and honesty in history, history needs to be correct, right? It can't be somebody that's in love with the romance of the Gotti. They don't sit with me because I'm very straightforward the way I talk, because I'm going to talk in detail. Let's talk about what you did. I'm going to ask them, let's tell us how you got to be a made guy. Tell me what you did to get there. Tell me while you were a made guy, did you go out and shoot anybody by yourself? Did you fight 3 guys by yourself? Did you go out and put a bat in your hand?
You said something about the Gottis, which is quite interesting. You said anything that preserves Gotti Jr.'s image is glorifying the mob. If you're glorifying the mob, you're killing kids, you're teaching kids to respect the coward.
What the fuck? If anyone listens to John A. Light, then they're respecting the coward.
Go do a robbery by yourself? Did you ever do anything without being a coward and shooting somebody in the back of the head with 10 guys by besides that? Because anybody can do that. But did you?
Wow.
You're calling John Gotti Jr. and Sr. a coward. Is that what you're saying? Like they were cowards?
Listen, I'm calling all of them cowards the Gottis. I'm calling Jeannie Gotti a coward. He was in jail with me. He was my cellmate. I slapped him around in jail. I didn't slap him around just to talk. Here, Teddy Persico was there. Carmine Persico's brother. Mikey Spinelli, a known killer, was there. Patty Della Russo, all made guys. They were all there. Let somebody ask them, did I do it? In harm's way. Nope. Were you intelligent enough to make?
He didn't slap shit around. He's a fucking liar. Nikki Barber, how you doing? Thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Money without a group of guys. These guys can't survive without being in their neighborhoods where everybody knows them, where they got 20 guys with them. But if they're alone, they're not going to. Louis Sandino from GQ, we used to call him, Rob Jeannie Gotti. Did I have James Perry slap him, throw a chair at him? Did I have Mark Giuliani do it? Did we beat up and hurt Ali Calabrese in jail? You see him in The Irishman, they talk about he's a gangster's gangster. Nobody did nothing about it. Why not? These guys were all there with me. Everybody knows the story. So when people say, when they talk, when they don't have knowledge of what they're speaking about, but I'm speaking from facts. And I ask people to look it up. Pete Gotti never used a gun. Never. John Gotti Sr. never killed anybody with his own hand.
John Gotti Sr. never killed anybody.
With his own hand. It's easy to ask somebody else to do it. Here, I'll give you a gun until you kill him.
Zero. He's never
Zero.
killed. How would you know that, though?
I know everything about him. He's dead.
He's able to say anything about him because he's dead. He can't respond at all. He's dead. So that's the reason why he's out here talking all this shit. Because if Gotti Sr. was alive, none of this stuff would come out of his mouth. And you know that's a fact. He was not under Gotti Sr. He just slept over Junior's house. He was friends with his son. Let's call a spade a spade. You're not that guy, John. And if you were, put it on the table. Come take the lie detector test and prove that you were that guy. And if you do that, I will never do another show again about you. This is never going to happen.
Everybody
that's the part. Somebody may say he doesn't have, you're going after a guy that's dead. He can't defend himself.
Well, his son can.
Well, his son can. His son doesn't want anything to do with you or that life.
Let him come out. There's FBI alive. There's so many rats out there. Joe Messina's a rat, knows him his whole life. Right? Why isn't he talking about it?
He said Joe Messina is one of the perfect gangsters. Didn't Donkey say that too?
Diaco. Why is he talking about it? There's a million guys out there that hung around. All the guys that cooperated around the Gambino family, nobody put a gun in Gotti's hand ever. I was friendly with Willie Boy Johnson before he cooperated.
No, you were friends with him while he cooperated. You love these rats. You have it pumping through your veins, man. That's why you link up with all the fucking rats. Here, your best friend, Mr. Sausage Man. Fucking rat, piece of shit. All of them. Rat, piece of shit. All of them. Like, you can't make this up. Rat, piece of shit. Like, the list goes on and on. Another one of your friends, little rat, donkey riding Dom. Another rat. Lying scumbag. See, this is what you have in your mind, John. This is what you want it to be. But that's what it's not. You weren't a made guy. You weren't in the mafia. You were friends with Junior. You were never getting made. Guess what? Junior was made, and he's not even full Italian. And he was made, and you're not. You're the guy that did all the work. How come you didn't get made, John? You killed all these fucking people. How come you didn't get made? Simple question.
He was cooperating. We all were. And when he spouted off, or Angelo Ruggiero spouted off, they all said the same thing. But I'm talking about facts because you have FBI information. You have guys that ratted. You have guys that stayed with him. You have Carmen Agnello, never used a gun. His brother-in-law, he ran to Cleveland. He had a 16-count indictment. They closed the courtroom. What did he do to get out of it?
What did you do to get out of your bullshit? Why are you out of prison? And I want to know, you killed all these fucking people. How come you haven't been charged with any of it? How come, John? They just let you kill people and keep walking the streets, right? No problem. No problem with that. Oh, that's all good. He did it. Don't worry. We're just going to let him walk. So you killed all these people and no repercussions, huh, Johnny? Is that how it works? No, because it never fucking happened.
He got guns in his house. I mean, these are facts. These aren't, so when kids are looking up at these guys, I'm telling them, don't you open your eyes, because I never opened my eyes until now. And now that I have a voice, I can save kids' lives.
But why is the story being told otherwise? Why is the story being told? Because isn't one of the criteria of being a made man you have to kill somebody? Isn't that one of the criteria, or it's not?
No, not.
No, not at all. Because he killed all these people, and he's not a made man. Never was. Never was even considered for it.
Made man and a boss, and you've never killed anybody.
Correct.
Okay, the second thing, isn't one of the codes of being a mobster, you can never talk to a government official, FBI, you can never do that.
100%.
Never
so
do that.
So Gotti Jr. sitting with the FBI?
He did. The truth is the truth. Gotti Jr. did cooperate with the government. Bottom line.
Making 302s while I'm sitting in Brazil penitentiary. And he could give me 20 life sentences.
Has nothing to do with you, though. That little ruse he tried to do with the government had nothing to do with this guy. Nothing. Nothing to do with him.
Betrayed who? I'm in a jail. I'm in a dungeon. I'm getting beat
Now he's
up.
saying he didn't say anything.
He's pulling knives out of his ass and killing guards, and they're letting him get away with it down there. You believe that?
And had a box with us and talk. They're only talking because this isn't 1985 or 86 or 87.
That's the only reason why you're talking.
Or 90 or
Of
95.
course.
We all know
Of
that.
course.
Okay. So the biggest mistake anybody ever made in life is when they challenge and threaten somebody, because that's usually when you're talking to a serious guy that you can have an issue. Now,
All right, so he's saying someone threatens somebody, that's a serious issue, right?
Little fucking midget mafia, Joey Molino got something to say about me. Joey, you're 4'2". I see you in Tampa, I'll slap you around. Okay, you're the boss of 3 guys, the Philadelphia Mafia. You actually be a member of your family, I'd rather be a Latin king. Okay?
Gangsta. The loudest guy in the room isn't always the toughest. Remember that.
with me, I don't take them serious, because there's enemies
follow
out there.
through.
There's a lot of guys out there
Right.
that don't like me, right? A lot of guys out there want to kill me, but they're not on the internet talking about it. Those are the guys I got to worry about, not these idiots that
Sure.
are getting in touch with me trying to get attention.
Sure.
So you got a guy like Johnny Burke, I'm going to use him. He's got a life sentence. This is a guy that was around the Ruggiero family. He was a drug addict. Got baseball batted by Carmine and John Gotti Jr. Did nothing about it. This is a guy that let his family sit in the street with no money. He didn't buy him a house. I had to give him $60,000 to buy the house. This is a guy that left Citrus County Jail twice to go meet with the prosecutors. He didn't go to Disney World and try to make a deal. This is a guy whose mother threatened us in 2001 if we didn't give him money, he was going to rat. This is a guy that got run over by Brendan Gebbett and did nothing about it. Sat in the hospital, they came running to me, can you help me? This is a guy that was with me on the robbery in Valley Stream when I robbed Jojo Carrazzo and Ronnie One-Arm's bookmaker that refused to come, he was scared. This is a guy whose brother married a police officer but calls everybody a rat.
Refuse to come, but they're scared. Listen, man, this guy was not the enforcer for any of these people. None of them.
Another country, forget about another jail like I was in, like Brazil. So I don't give a fuck what stupid title they give themselves. It doesn't mean anything to me. And you got to remember, they're going to attack me because I'm an Albanian, putting down the guys that I don't like in the Italian mafia.
You're not a gangster, Johnny boy. You gave up that card when you cooperated. You're trying to rewrite history like you're this big, badass guy. Take a lie detector test and prove it, okay? Or put your money where your mouth is and go box this dude in Queens, because they really want to see you. I mean, if you're up for it, just take them up on their offer. It's no problem. They're ready. I appreciate all you guys. I really do. Hope you guys like this content. There's a lot more to come. And if you guys want to help out the show, you can hit up the Cash App, Chattin with Staxx, or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can donate to the show. And I got a lot of shows coming up. You guys are going to like this content. Don't forget, tonight, we got Ori Spado joining us. Got a lot of good shows. Yesterday, I scheduled 2 shows at the same time, but it's all good. We're going to keep the content coming. He sounds like Ralph Natali, doesn't he? Sounds a little butthurt over something. I don't know. Someone must have really hurt his feelings. I mean, shit. I understand if he's got if he's upset with Junior over something, come on, tell everybody. Don't act like you're this fucking Superman gangster that you weren't. And don't get me wrong, I heard he was a tough guy back in the day. He was doing some damage to people here and there, but not to the extent he's saying. Not at all. Everyone's a gangster till it's time to do the time, right? Yeah, it changes up when they got to go to prison. They're not so gangster then, huh?
Warn you, but I'm gonna fix it. I did this to the door. Warn you, but I'm gonna fix it. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
Gangsta. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this content, too bad. Start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys. I hope you have a great day. What's good, Liberty? Have a good one. Happy New Year. And don't forget, tonight it's about to go down. And remember, don't be a bitch.